and Breakdowns.
Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We are on episode 111. That's I don't know. That's whatever the fuck numbers.
111, make a wish.
Make a wish.
Let's pretend it's 1111.
Oh yeah, it's 11.
No one knew what to wish for. Okay.
You can't say your wish out loud.
You can't say you can't say it.
Yeah, I can't say wish. My wish is already good because these guys rolled through. But we got Postal in the fucking house. What's up?
Yo,
what's going on?
What's up?
What's going on, man?
I appreciate y'all actually stopping by because I know you guys are driving. You guys, where was the show last night?
Houston. We drove halfway here last night. We stopped in Buffalo, right? That's what it was called, Buffalo?
Yeah, we stayed in Buffalo, but we played at Susanna's nightclub
Okay.
in
They
Houston
call it
last
Nightcore
night.
though on the flyers.
Yeah,
Nightcore?
Nightcore.
It's
But
I guess it's newer. I mean, I don't know. We're pretty new in Houston. That was our second show there, like ever.
Because you guys are out of San Antonio, right?
Yeah, we're out of San Antonio. This is our first ever run, like a tour wise, anything like that. We just released our first EP. Like honestly, all this is brand new to us.
What's going on, everybody? It's OC, your host for the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast, and I'm here today to talk to you about Fostepco. Now, as you can see today, I am dripped in it. I got the shirt, I got the hat, but Fostepco is a lot more than just clothes. It's more than clothing, it's a culture. Fostepco has always been a symbol that cultivates a community of creativity and growth. Whether it's music, artwork, clothing, they are all over the map making waves. They truly do inspire creatives to uncover their potential and discover their true selves. There really is no limits when it comes to your creativity. So follow Fostepco to join the new counterculture movement and go against the mainstream. So yeah, because I mean, you guys were up from San Antonio the first time I saw you, and which was the first time I met. Some of you was at the Black Cat last time you were here, which I think like Zettabyte played that and like a few others. But
Zettabyte, Spineless,
yeah.
Cutthroat. There was one more band I can't remember.
Observer.
But
Wait, no. It was their other band.
Yeah, it was Zettabyte, but then there was another one before them. I can't remember though.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's four bands out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so. What immediately caught my attention, like you guys definitely stood out, like for me. One, like I've never heard like y'all before, so it's my first time listening to. And there's something about like hearing a band for the first time and that catching you, because like I mean I've heard stuff where like shit gets passed online or whatever, you hear the recording and be like, this sounds pretty cool, like and most of the time it's because something's geared towards me and like the algorithm or whatever. But like just something catching me off guard, because like I think I was at another show and I was just like rolling through, like I was already in Dallas, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll stop by and see. I wanted to talk to Jonathan from Zettabyte, and I was just like, oh, I'll stop by and say hi. And then y'all were playing, like that's who I came into, and I'm just like, what is it? Especially like going like back and forth with the styles that you guys do. So like, it's definitely a little jarring, and you can talk to anybody, fucking you hear him. You can talk to anybody, but like that's the shit that I like. I like when like all of a sudden it switches to something completely different, and so that caught my attention. But so how you're saying you're new to the band? So like how new is the band in general?
Well, this is like what, our second year playing shows already, right? Second year probably. Yeah, we're barely halfway through our second year playing shows. Me and Axel pretty much started this band back in like what, 2021, 22? 21, yeah.
Okay.
Been through a lot of lineup changes. This is our first like anything, like when it comes to like an interview, all of it. It's pretty much mine and Jesse's first like real like band that actually plays shows and anything like that.
Okay. So you and Axel started it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then but the rest of you have already been like in other projects before.
Yeah. So me and Gylem actually have another band. We still are doing it together. We're called Sloth. We're like math rock and stuff. So I met Dylan because he was like trying to start a band or something, and he just messaged me on Instagram. He's like, "Hey, I'm trying to start a band."
Yeah, I was like trying to start like a hardcore band, something more like metalcore, emo revival. And at first it was a little rough. We had like, I don't know, 7 lineup changes. Eventually, he met Jesse because he was gonna fill in for his other band, Sloth. So then we had 2 guitarists. We had another drummer at the time. Didn't work out. So, we went through a little rough phase where we had fill-ins. Kylum started out as a fill-in on bass because, we didn't have an official bassist. And then eventually, we just all clicked. The chemistry worked. We all have a similar vision. And, here we are.
Yeah. No, dude, figuring out like a lineup and actually like people who you get along with to be able to write together like is the biggest step like in a band.
Yeah.
Like that's if you don't have that down, like it just causes everything else. Like how do you build like on the rocky like start kind of thing? And it is frustrating if you have like a vision of like, dude, I know what I want to write, but like I just need the right people like behind it, like the right team. But yeah, from was this the lineup that played the last show? Like,
This is the lineup we've had for like I want to say it's probably already been about a year.
Okay,
just about.
Coming up this summer.
Yeah, it should be about a year, probably like in August.
Yeah, I was the last person to join. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I guess he was technically. Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, technically.
But yeah, I'm Dylan. It's obviously, I do vocals.
Let's go through like everybody. Like, I do need to officially meet
Yeah.
everybody.
I'm Dylan. I do vocals. You can go next, bro.
I'm Gylum or Guy. I just play bass.
I'm Axel, and I play guitar.
I'm Lucky, and I play drums.
Jesse and I play the other guitar.
Yeah, there you go. But we pretty much share a similar vision. Of course, all of us have our own unique like thing that we bring to it. That's why we have so many different changes in our songs and everything. Like I know me and Axel have more of like that more pure emo like DIY type of sound with more like the I guess more like the chords bouncing around like slides and everything, right? Like panic chords. And then
I just like the harder riffs.
Yeah.
Tritones.
Yeah, that's what me and him come from. Lucky brings in more of that like breakcore type of style. He's got some more experience when it comes to bands because he plays in like 5. And then the other two are
the life of a drummer, man.
All got chops.
the other two, Jesse and Gam, they bring more of that like more modern style. They like bands like Boundaries, Knock Loose, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming in, you pretty much you and Axel have like a vision of what you're going for. Does it shift with the lineup change, like of what?
A little bit.
Started?
Yeah,
a little bit it
little
shifts.
Yeah.
I think we were like slowly finding like our niche now that this like full EP's done. Now we can kind of sit back and like hear everything tied together a little bit better, and it just gives us an overall where we kind of want to head for our next project,
Gotcha.
So
yeah, the EP is really fucking good.
Thank you.
Like it is very, very good. And I was excited because I just like again found you guys not too long ago. When this was like had to been like at the beginning or maybe the end of last year. I can't remember exactly.
It would have been like February. I
When
think.
we played Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real, I do not remember.
Like it wasn't that
we
long
played
ago,
so many
yeah.
shows.
Like seeing,
It was the middle of February.
that's the first thing where I'm like, oh shit, like I need like music, you know what I mean? So like seeing that was coming out and then seeing it again that there was like that you guys announced that it was getting released, I was just like, oh okay, this is the perfect opportunity. And it just lined up where young guys were coming to town. I was like, oh, I want to hear more about this. But no, it turned out really well. There's a few things that I like here. Like there's a bit of like some like little production things that are in there. And like,
yeah.
so like
samples.
let's say for example that I really liked was like the I don't even know what to call it, but it's in the first song and it's in the end song, so it kind of feels like it ties them together at the end. But
Yeah.
I can't remember what exactly.
The samples that we
The
used.
little-
Silent
yeah.
Hill samples.
So mainly that was me and our producer because I'd always felt like our music would sound better if we had some samples, something to make it feel more gloomy, something that gives it that like. Because basically, I wrote the album to be like a concept, at least vocally or lyrically. And I mean, of course, they help with the vision because I mean, they're like the best instrumentalists I've ever met, and they know exactly what we're going for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just supposed to be a concept about being stuck, being bound to something, being bound to a cycle that it's not going to end.
Okay.
When me and the producer were going through it, I would just explain to him some samples I wanted to use, some backbeats. I think we mainly took that inspo from bands like Vane, Omerta. Honestly, our biggest is always going to be probably like See You Space Cowboy, Under Oath, Converge, things like that.
Is that I know it's one thing it's annoying where I always like draw it. So I try to stop doing this, but I and I'll get your guys' opinion on like this thing, but like, do you guys get people coming up to me like, oh, you sound like this, you sound like
Every
that?
time, every
All
show,
the
but it's a
time.
different band every time.
Yeah. So I was talking to like a few bands about this, and I'm like, I get both sides of this thing, because like on one point, like from like the person who noticed like what it sounds like, for me, like because I do it a lot. I'm like, oh shit, that sounds like this, and I like feel the need to like tell people. But like I also see on the other part, like as a musician, be like, fuck, like I don't want to necessarily sound like anything. But
I feel like it's flattering to an extent. It's that maybe you don't want to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because you still want to be original, but like me personally, I don't mind it, because it's like, hey, like I look up to them, so like I'm glad to be roped anywhere near them.
Yeah. Like,
Kind of like get in where you fit in.
Yeah, like the way that I see it, and anytime I say it, it's hopefully to see like, oh, did this? Because sometimes like I'll say a band and they're like, oh, I've never listened to them, you know. So,
Right.
But most of the time it's because like that's what I use to tie into like what your music. So like this little bridge helps me listen to like everything else that you guys are putting
Yeah,
out.
it
Like,
kinda
oh
like
shit, like I get
nostalgia.
it. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit of you like to relate to it when it's all completely new to you. You know what I mean? Which is I think what I did when I listened to it like live for the first time. I'm like, oh, what, like this shit sounds cool. And it was like the melodic like singing parts, which I am a huge fan of. So you do both the vocals.
Yeah, I do both. On some songs, you know, Axel has like he does his parts vocally. We try to do it live. I mean, can't every time because there's not always another mic for him. But mostly everything, I did vocally.
Okay. So you said lyrically you did have a concept for it.
Yeah,
and
I
you
did a
kind of went
concept.
general. Like what kind of inspired like this lyrical concept?
So usually, obviously, you know, everyone has anxiety, things like that, things that they constantly think about, overthinking, whatever. So when I was in economics class or a social economics class, it taught about an idea called the contradiction in conception, which it's when you lie to sell something. So like, for example, like a pack of cigarettes, right? Say, oh, it's gonna make you feel better, right? Like it's gonna help with your stress and all that. But I mean, let's just be honest, the concept contradicts itself. A cigarette's clearly bad for you. It can give you cancer, whatever, right? So then I just applied that, like, okay, so when you think about life, you know, we assume that it's acceptable when you're only gonna like be able to live 9 to 5, you know, 40 hours a week, whatever, you know, that's the acceptable quality of life. But like, what if I want more out of that? What if I want something different? What if, you know, I think too much about that? It's like, am I stuck like this? Am I bound to this way of thinking? So then I just applied the idea that it's a concept that contradicts itself. What is life without taking some risks, you know, to get to where you want to be? Because just be honest, anything worth wanting is going to take that risk.
Yeah.
Regardless if it has to be calculated, regardless that, you know, it's going to be a financial like step for you. But so yeah, I just applied that theory to all of the lyrics and everything. And, you know, of course, every song is going to have its own story and everything, you know, like, for example, The Ground Looks Lonely from Up Here is about you're too self-aware of everything and you have paranoia. So it makes you kind of, you know, overthink it to the point where it's like, should I just end all this and my suffering and just, you know, stop, disappear, or keep going? But yeah, that's pretty much the concept.
So these are, do you, I mean, I when I was in a band and I did vocals and I wrote and stuff like that, most of the time, like when I finally like dialed into like my writing style, it was a lot more cathartic and like personal. Like, do you add a lot of like yourself into like the lyrics, or
I
do you
try
like expand
to.
on like situations that you see or like read about?
I try to combine both with every song. I mean, with the majority, yeah, it's going to be a personal experience because it's my perspective, my point of view of things. You know, I can't, for example, speak for like Axel's point of view of life because I'm only going to know from what he sees and the way that he reacts to things, right? I can't speak for the way that he might feel. I can just hope that the things that I write is he's going to be able to relate to it and build his own story into it. And, you know, perceive it in the way that he wants and he feels. But of course, there's obviously the way that I'm going to perceive it. And honestly, when I write, I want everybody to be able, like, they can relate to it, they can feel something for it, as well as, you know, see the actual story that's straightforward being said there.
Yeah. Yeah, a few things there. Like that concept is what you're saying, like the lie, you know, that are actually still like kind of harmful. That way of thinking of like people like live and die like their lives on that 9 to 5 like
Yeah.
shit, where it's like I need to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like that's all they see like around them, you know what I mean? And I know people, and I've gone through like periods in my life where like that was like, well, this is what everybody else is doing, so it's fine, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm supposed to feel
Yeah.
like this, you know what I mean? I'm supposed to feel like shitty, like I'm supposed to like not. It was always like, who gets to do like these things? Like anytime I saw like, you know, bands that got together and like made music and did shit, like I was like, that's not something that normal people can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was always like, these people can do it, you know, but you know, us like regular
You're
people
like,
can't
yeah,
fucking
it's,
do it. You
it's
know what
not
I mean?
gonna happen for me.
And once, that's why I like, once I started getting into like not only like the band but into the scene, into the culture like itself, you start seeing like, holy shit, like everybody is out here capable of creating like
Yeah.
different things. It just depends on what you're willing to, you know, like, or to risk to do it, you know what I mean? And then like it does not work like for everybody, but the experiences alone like make a lot of this shit worth it, you know what I mean? Like you talk about like, you know, the past few days that you guys have been on the road, like shit like that opportunity to be together and play music that you fucking like to, you know, a bunch of fucking strangers and different people meeting new people, those fucking connections make shit worth it, like for you to want to keep going, you know?
I think for us right now, it's like it's all coming so fast that we're kind of like yeah, we recognize it, like, and we're aware of like, oh yeah, we're doing all this, but then I would say like give it like a week from now, and we're gonna look back and be like, damn, we really just finished tour, and it went over our head. Like
Yeah.
It hits a little bit later.
Yeah.
It usually always does for me, at least. Like,
because like
What's that? I had one of my friends come in here, and she had just gotten off tour, and she's like, "Yeah, it's that post-tour depression." Like,
Yeah.
where you be like,
I
fuck,
just
like, you know?
learned about that.
Yeah, where it's like,
we were just talking about that with Crossways, but yeah, I mean, like even with just finishing the EP, it was like that took us about like a year and a half, like writing and re-recording, you know, having to go to another producer, re-recording that. It's just like, damn, like now we look back at it, we're like, damn, all that, it's done. Like, that's just the beginning. And to us, it's like, damn, that was like what, a whole lifetime it felt like.
Well, you get to again do it again. You know what I mean? You get to write new music. Like once you, and that's one thing. Like I'll talk to some people where they get stuck and not put out music, and they're just like, you know, I'm waiting for this to be perfect. And I'm like, dude, I go, the moment you put it out, you get to work on like the next shit. You know what I mean? And change it and create something new. But the finality of like actually putting something together just makes you more pumped to be like, holy shit, I want to write something else now. And you get to play a song, like depending, like a year and a half is not bad. Like in my eyes, like I think that's at the end of like the time range I would say like you should sit on music, like, you know, within writing and like recording and stuff like that, especially like, you know, when you're starting off, like it's kind of hard, and I again, I just bring this up so much because like I had a band, and when we put out our EP, newest song was like 3 years old, you know what I mean? So it was, and at the time, like it was you know, definitely a few years ago, so it wasn't as easy and convenient to record, I'm gonna say, or affordable, you know. So, and then we were new at that, and there was less like resource for you to know. Again, it's still us getting into the world of like, how do you do this shit?
It's a process. We would have honestly finished way sooner, but we just weren't happy with the original product. And
is that what you meant by like you went to a different?
Yeah, because we started off with our first song that we ever wrote, you know, the first single we released, An Act of Reverence, and we were like, you know what, we have a friend that's in another band, and we'll go with them to record, and we finished it, and then he was like, I could do better with better equipment, and you know, that put us off what, like maybe 6 more months. Then, you know, we went back to record it, and then he ended up moving from where he was staying, and then we were like, okay, and again, here we go.
Yeah.
It was just messy. It was
Yeah,
really messy.
and then I mean, he sent us like 3 masters of the song, and it was just like, it's okay. And you know, then we ended up meeting Crossways. We got closer with them. Of course, shout out to them always. Shout out Crossways. That's
Huge
our
shout out to
brothers.
them.
You know, they're always there for us. I mean, as you can see, they're on tour with us. But yeah, then we finished our album with them, and you know, the rest is pretty much history now.
So it felt a lot better, like working with them.
Yeah.
That is a big deal, especially if you're working with like producers. Is like, who do you trust with your music? And I remember the sense of like, dude, I don't want this to come out. Like, not the way that I want
Man,
it.
he made us believe in our music.
Yeah.
When
he
that
made
got
us-
done
okay.
being produced, I was like, wow.
Before I was like, I don't know, like no shade, but I was just like, oh man, like
Yeah.
I don't want my name attached to this.
Yeah, we just felt embarrassed. Like, at
What
first,
and,
it's like-
again, like the thing is, like I know you're like no shader, but it's like sometimes you're just not with the right like person, like connection.
Yeah.
First, like they maybe don't understand it.
They didn't see the vision.
fully.
Right, yeah.
And that's what I mean about trust. Like, how do you fucking find that? Like, because every person you go to, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a risk that you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I might work with this person. And like it might just not work. Like maybe we just don't understand each other. So
I think the big thing is gonna have to always be, as weird as it is, because like I like to build the community. I want the community to build. I want it to be as diverse as it can. But I think that when it comes to a studio setting, depending on the vision that you have, you probably want to go with somebody that is very closer to your style itself. Regardless, like maybe we're not exactly the same as Crossways.
Yeah.
But they at least understand. Or our producer Jaime, he at least understands what we want.
yeah.
And he gets that, we have more of like, for example, like a Prada, type sound, like a 2007, 2005 Prada sound. And he's like, okay, that's what y'all sound like. That's what y'all are going for. Let's see how close we can get to something like that, but still, like, respectfully, originally y'all.
Yeah, no, and I've had that experience where we like put out, we recorded, and it was always like, 'cause who was doing it on the cheap, and then we went to like somebody, and they recorded, and again, no shade to them, they did the best they could with whatever, but it was like. It was definitely a more like, oh, we're coming in here. I can track it. I can record it the way you guys put it up, but it wasn't like a working like relationship. Where we're like, oh, you're gonna
it just
make the music better,
there
kind of
it
thing.
didn't feel like there was a lot of like mutual respect between like the music, I guess. Like,
Yeah, it just felt like, because I mean, like we would have a very like like this is the idea. It's fully written, organized, everything. The structure's there, and then we would take it, we would record it, and then he'd send it back to us. Hey, so like I just redid the whole song. I just restructured all of it.
Yeah,
So it'll sound better like
that's
this.
like a problem of ours. A lot of people like don't get it,
Yeah.
so they don't like believe in our stuff. Mostly, they think we're weird.
But I think that's fucking weird. Hold on, you like
We're like
rearrange
too
our
much.
shit?
We do too
Yeah,
much.
so
and
like
stuff.
like basically that the first producer basically resent us the song, but he just would basically he cut up a bunch of parts and then just moved them around.
He like
Make us, like-
realigned the stuff we recorded on the grid into like different areas and put
Make
it,
us like
he was
replay
this
the
is how
same
y'all
riffs
song
over
should
and over
be.
again.
And we were just like, bro, like
Yeah, we're like
Well,
this
I'm
is not
good.
even us though. This
That's-
sounds like a different band.
Yeah, that was like that was like a thing that I did have when we recorded with somebody, and their mixes were really fucking good. Like they were really good. I just wasn't used to the idea of having somebody have input into like our song. So
Yeah.
but again, like I wish I would have went in there with a little bit more of an open mind. But like the thing that they did with us is like they recorded what we wanted, and then they were like, "Oh, like I have this idea, like you can say no, you know what I mean? But like if you want to see this," and he would show us stuff and be like, "Oh, that's not bad," but also like I couldn't make peace with the fact that like I didn't like none of us wrote that. You know?
yeah,
Like-
it's a rough feeling when it's like, but like I also get it at the same time when you're in the studio and it's like, okay, so he's the original idea, but then let's just be honest, should we rework it a little bit?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think if we would have been more involved in like the change that he made, like he's like if he was there like working on it while we were there, I think we would have felt more like, oh
Yeah.
shit, okay,
I
I
think that-
Because we've done that already,
Yeah.
with some of our songs while we're in the studio with Jaime. you
Yeah,
know?
I
And
think
it's
that
like,
that's
you know
a
what?
better thing is that Jaime would,
He'll let us
you'd wait
cook
for
on
us
the
to get
guitar
there.
for a minute.
Yeah, and I think that was like the only issue I had is like, oh, I wish I was like somewhat involved in this more than just
Right.
like here's a new part, like
Or-
do you like it? Because I was like I do like it, but like that I mean, like we didn't even work on this together. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
kind of put me off of the thing, but. Getting your whole songs like reworked. and
Yeah,
you're,
like,
not
that's
even
crazy,
fucking there.
right?
We're
It's
like, hold on,
crazy.
what?
I was like, bro, this is already written, bro.
Like the cool thing about Jaime is that like even if he tells you straight up to your face like the part isn't hitting, like he'll let you like work on it and like come like right there.
Yeah, literally, like
Get-
no pressure at
Yeah,
all.
like, and I don't know, like for me at least, like
bro, we'd
I
beat it
get
to
to
like
just
4
do
a.m.
it. I just write on the spot right there and change it, and I'm like, okay, I like it.
See, I think that's definitely a lot better way to like go
Yeah.
about it rather than just changing it for you. But also like it's funny because that's a concept that I've brought up quite a bit. But that honesty of like somebody telling you is like, hey, this ain't this ain't it for you.
Or
but in the,
I mean, that's
in the
always
constructive
good.
way, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's always
Like, in the way because like I've asked bandits, I'm like, are you guys like pretty good about being like constructively honest with each other? Where like something's like, oh, this isn't like
for the most part.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say like for us, we are like usually, we all know like, yo, let's be real. I know this is gonna hurt your feelings a little bit, but like maybe we should just like fix this part, rework it. And at first the initial shock, for everyone
It sounds
is like,
cool, but does it go hard?
Yeah, that's pretty much that's the
Doesn't
thing. It's like
actually go hard.
there's a difference between hard and heavy, and like we're like, okay, like let's be real. It can go hard, but is that shit gonna hit?
People gonna fight to it or just stand there?
That's
Yeah.
true. A lot of like I've seen people rework songs based on like what's this gonna do live. You know what I mean? Like some songs like are written in that way.
That's
like,
that's usually how we go about it.
Really?
Like we
Okay.
never think of like when we write, we never think like how is this gonna sound in the studio. Like we write it and we write it to play it with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we write what we try to write is things that like honestly, like this is gonna sound weird, but it's like what we wish we could hear from like the bands that we all like.
Yeah,
I guess.
pretty
yeah,
much
for sure.
Yeah.
Like we try to take all the highlights and all that, and I mean, if I'm being honest, this dude cooks a lot of the things that we have like right now like saved. Like he is
Yeah, for
bro
next
is
coming
the most
project.
talented out of all of us, honestly.
you.
But
So what does writing look like for y'all then?
it's different. It's different ways.
Depends.
It's different. It's different. So
It
like,
depends.
so honestly, I don't write any instrumentals. Right? I mean, I'm the vocalist. I'm shit at every instrument. But I mean,
feel
if
it.
I hum something, if I hum a riff, they'll do it right. But all of us, all of them each write their own way.
Yeah,
Lucky,
it
for
really
example.
depends. I mean, a lot of the times I just like to just sit in my room by myself and just go at it for hours and hours and hours. And
He usually
I'm not-
tracks to a
yeah,
click.
I mean, like I'll try to track my own stuff by myself, and then I'll just send it to the rest of the guys. Gylem, he's really good with using like Guitar Pro, so like he could just
Really?
put out the
Yeah.
tabs
Yeah,
and
that's-
everything.
He
and
tabs
what we
every
constructed
instrument out.
that.
That is an interesting right. I
Yeah.
had another band in here that said that,
I'm
the same
still,
thing. And I'm like, oh, that's
I'm
so
still trying to
wild.
learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Cause I think it's awesome.
That's-
Like, why the
yeah.
fuck not? Like,
It's like the
Yeah.
backbone
Like, why
of our
not?
stuff for sure.
and it's
He-
easier too to just to give everybody a
It-
clear cut idea of
and
what
then
the
you can
song
like
is, to
literally like learn it
rehearse
in
it
front of you.
better. Everybody
real
rehearse
time,
it.
slow it down and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like what he does is like all of our songs that we've had, we like and everything that's on the EP, we didn't write like how the way that he writes. We had just written it like, practice.
Our way we
yeah,
could.
the most like original,
A lot of
just
it was
DIY
like,
way we
yeah,
could.
it was just me and like Jesse just like
Yeah.
trying to write songs.
So that's how that first EP went. Was like we would track it to like a click or something, and then
Pretty much.
practice it
So
with
this
each other.
is like a new way of
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah,
Our
a
new-
little bit.
Yeah.
our new
We
way of
already
writing-
kinda getting into
Yeah, we
that.
took
Okay.
because me and Gylem always do that. Like I always send stuff to him, and he'll just like look at my video or whatever,
Right.
and he'll just like tab it out like that, and he just writes on his own, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me learn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that just what feels the most comfortable, like when you write?
Yeah, it's kind of a way for me to like, if I can't necessarily play something, I can write it and then practice it, and then hopefully I can learn
Yeah.
it. So like, being able to write something out gives me the chance to like make something that I wouldn't be able to like make right off the spot, like in person.
okay.
Like I can actually take time to like make
Perfect
something
it.
cool, yeah, and learn it. And
So like what he does now, or like the way that we write now, is he'll make an idea, like tab it out, and then he'll send it to the group chat, and then individually to Lucky, and Lucky will listen to it and then write his own drums under it, and he sends it back to the group chat. And so from there, we all learn it, get adjusted to its structure. So then we'll take it to practice, or I guess a writing day.
Yeah.
And we'll dissect it. We'll go part by part. Of course, Jesse and Axel are going to change what they want, like to the guitar structure, because
Yeah.
they're playing it, so they're going to want to add in their own flavor and everything.
yeah.
So you what's like your natural instrument then? Is
My-
it like guitar or?
Yeah, my natural instrument is mostly guitar. I play a couple other, but mostly I've just been focusing on getting better at bass, specifically for Postal.
Okay.
Because the only reason why I was reluctant to join the group first off was because with me and Axel doing Sloth, I mean, I was still pretty much in high school the whole time while doing that. So I was reluctant to join another band and just, put something more on my plate.
Yeah.
But it's been a pretty cool, easy year working with them. So But yeah, mainly for right now, I'm just kind of focusing on getting better at bass and integrating that into our music. I like honestly, I feel as though like in modern metal, bass is kind of neglected, so I want to be one of the few that makes it pretty interesting.
I like the idea of like the background being a math rock band because math rock is so fucking fun. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so interesting. And you said Sloth, and I'm like, I know that fucking band. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit! But yeah, like this just. I love the bleed over, like whatever you can add, like to make it, because that's what you want. At least like in music that I like enjoy is like you want shit that stands out, like, and that's one of the easiest and simple ways is just to bleed over like concepts that people don't use in like this type of music. And I feel like that was one of my main draws, like to Postal itself, like when I first heard it, and then even in the EP, that's what makes it really enjoyable. Like how many elements of like different things are in there, how many instruments get highlighted, like really like in a nice way. And yeah, I think more people should not be afraid of like doing that. It's like combining those two things. But writing on Guitar Pro, it's funny because it brings up like one thing when I had a podcast with just drummers on here, they were talking about, and it was this thing where they brought up, like all the songs that we do like are programmed drums like now, and like I think everybody was on the same page, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know how, I guess, commonplace it had gone to just like be able to just like program drums and stuff like that. But the thing that comes out, and I like that this is what you brought up with Guitar Pro, is like, oh, I'll write something that I can't play yet, like, but will like it lets me be able to make that like, concept, and I can work up my way to get to it, kind of thing. But that's the same thing that they brought up. It's like, like we will write stuff, but like it's stuff that we have to be able to play. Like,
That for sure.
Yeah, the biggest issue was like, oh, people were writing shit that like you go see it live and we're like,
like triple.
So yeah, and I think that's at least like when I was coming up, like again, the program just was always like that. There was like some sort of stigma to it. I feel like it was like, oh, like
it's way more normal now.
Yeah, and it just, I feel like it's convenient as far as like for ideas too, like
so
getting
much
shit like put down, like and sending concepts back and forth.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I've loved, that people just do that shit now.
Just so many resources you could use.
It
nowadays.
honestly, it helps a lot because I mean, it helps the vision of everything better because now it's like, man, where do we go from here? Like, as to where, there's someone that's taking their time already and has a full vision and can just, tab it out real quick rather than, let me sit here and explain it to the other member until they finally understand exactly what I'm saying.
It's fret 5 and then 7.
Mind you, that'll take like an hour of just like, so did you want to strum it like this or like this?
I always do that. I'm like, bro, just send me the fucking tabs. Like, I'll learn it on my own. Like, I'll learn it on my own. Just like,
Dude, I wish like in my last band, I wish we had like somebody who was good at that, because we lost a guitar player and we got a new one. And the way that they learned how to do it was we had to have the first guitar player, we just recorded playthroughs for him, and we tracked them. So we're like, oh, here's the track. I go, and here's a video of what he's playing at the same time. I go, you're on your
That's
own.
not that bad, but that's pretty bad.
But it's pretty bad. And luckily, actually, it was Ed who joined the band, like, when we were like, which Ed was joining every band at the time. But yeah, I was like, I'm so sorry you're having to learn like this way. Like, I wish we like knew, because our other guitar player knew some of the parts, but like it was like the one that left had a lot more of like the technical parts
Honestly,
of it, and like and a lot of the melodies. So he's like, yeah, I don't ever play that. So.
I feel like isn't that what we kind of did to you, Lucky, with learning drums? Didn't we have to just send you like a live shitty like recording of everything?
No.
Or did Gom send you?
Yeah.
Gom send you Sims?
tracks
for that.
He'd already made the Sims.
Yeah.
Bro learned that shit so fast.
That works out, yeah.
Yeah, he literally just listened to the songs like on his headphones
he
for a
doesn't- he
week.
doesn't
and
practice.
then-
He's like,
he doesn't have to. Bro
his
just
first-
learns it by ear.
his first practice, he was like, I don't really have like a practice space for my drums, so like, literally just like listen to her.
Listen to it, and then that was like my first run through.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he
Bro was
actually
all
killed
like-
it, man. He killed it.
I was so nervous I was gonna fuck that up. But then he just sits there just. I'm like, bro, how are you nervous? You just sit there all stone faced.
Well, again, that's the convenience part, especially like with writing itself, is not having to have the old school way of doing it with like, oh, the only time we're writing together is when we're in the same room together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everyone's having like, you spend hours just trying to learn how the song goes, like the initial structure, and then it's like, all right, now it's like, now let's play it through. And it's like, okay, well, let me write something to it first before we play
It's
it through,
harder
you know?
too when the song is like already done and you're trying to like do it the old school way, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And
But
honestly, I like the way that we do it now because I mean, I finish lyrics quick now. It doesn't take me forever because I mean, I have the song right there and it's in MIDI. It's on time. It's it's perfect. I'm just like,
I mean, and at least in my experience, like I would always feed off whatever the song was, like the vibe the song had. So if you have a fully like structured song, I was like, oh, I know where I can go with this because like I know where the song's going, kind of thing. Do you always write after the fact, or do you ever like write lyrics first?
if I have some lines, I'll keep the line
Okay.
and see if where I can fit its delivery in. But honestly, I wait for the instrumental. I have all the ideas I want, like the topic that I'm gonna write about, and I just wait. All right, how does this instrumental make me feel? Could I expand on this topic or this topic on it? And then I just go from there.
Nice. Is this the first time you guys your first actual run? Is that what you were saying earlier?
Yeah, our first ever like tour setting, anything like that.
But you've been playing. I love that you are on camera.
I had to prove it real quick.
I love it. That's so hold on. Can
Bro,
we
the
pause-
camera's
can we
right
pause
there, fool.
Okay.
Sorry, that shit was funny as fuck. No, that's not.
Bro, had to
that's so
bust out
fucking
the
funny.
Android real quick.
Leave me alone.
Hold on.
Man, ain't nobody want
I need one for the gram, real quick. Hold on.
He literally
We took
said
a picture of me and like I ain't the main I ain't the main
He
character,
took a
bro.
picture of like the set or anything.
Bro said
wall.
window. Yes.
And I love because again that camera's facing you and you were talking, so you're just gonna see.
I was like,
I'm gonna meme the shit out of that dude. It's like a proud parent. It's like a proud parent moment. Just like, hold on,
bro, he's the youngest one too, and bro acts like a dad.
like, it's like, hey, I'm so proud of you, man.
Yeah.
Bro's 19 and he acts like I'm like, bro,
Oh shit, that was fucking great.
dog.
He really did it again.
You like some in the moment. No, so
Milo,
we were
put
talking-
your phone away,
okay.
bro.
I just need to remember this.
Oh shit.
Bro,
Like it's
just-
not gonna be online.
the whole last thing is gonna be on.
It's okay.
No, I appreciate that. That means it's a special. That means it's a special
that's
moment.
subtle.
That's good. That's good.
It
praise.
is.
Good praise.
It is this, fool. all right.
But yeah, so this is the first run. But you guys
Yeah.
have been playing out of town. For a
Yeah,
little
we
bit.
played out of town a
But
bit.
you I mean that's something usually like bands like wait a little longer. Like I've seen like before they start playing other markets. Like
Really?
did you guys just like know people or you were just like, okay, how does that like get initiated?
I mean, we knew people, but like, we were never really like super close with anybody until we really fully started. And I mean, it helps that Sloth has experience because people already have some sense of respect to them, know who they are and everything, and that helps us out. People also know who Lucky is because I mean he's in other bands, so they're like, oh, that's his other band, whatever. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we just try. We just message who we can.
Yeah.
We just
see
knew
who hits
getting
us
out
back.
is what's gonna help. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You can't stay
Okay.
local.
What's San Antonio look like for you with like shows in general?
But what do you mean? No, they're usually good. They're
I
usually
personally
good.
like them.
I like 'em.
honestly.
I like
Why would you say no?
Everywhere else is like way better.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna agree with him on
Is it
that.
just like not like there's not a community out there? Or like,
Well, I would say, I mean, San Antonio isn't a bad city. Like it's a good community. It's just,
It's got its toxic.
I mean, yeah. There's
Areas.
always
Every
beef.
place
Every
is
every
like
place has its
that.
every place has its people that beef with each other. But there's not like a huge metalcore scene there. It's mainly
Hardcore.
Yeah, it's mainly
Beat
hardcore.
down
Core,
which-
like,
there-
you
like
know.
honestly, to me, like there's nothing wrong with that because I mean, we all love hardcore anyways. Bro goes to like hardcore shows almost every weekend.
like,
Axel, like you can find Axel in like Sanity Slip pits at like Snake Hill and shit.
Nice.
But yeah, it's hard to break out with metalcore there right now.
Oh, so do they like? Is it like not being put on like those bills? 'cause it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's just
fit the
not
bill kind
as
of thing, or-
popular. Like,
Gotcha.
if anything, a lot of the metalcore bands are just from out of town. They'll come and like hop on a hardcore.
Yeah.
They'll hop on like bills here
Yeah.
in San Antonio.
But it's all just hardcore, like.
Gotcha. So there's not a lot of like stuff like you around to kind of coordinate
Yeah,
a more like
or
fluid
like,
show, I guess.
Housing. They're from Austin.
Houses We Dying is like the closest to like I guess us sound. Like there's obviously other metalcore bands there. It's just we're not like super close.
Yeah.
Like for example, we have friends like and we have our homies Yield. They're kind of closer to us. They have another band. I can't remember. I think it's Promise a New Dawn. They want to play shows with us.
Four-way dance battle.
Yeah, Four-way dance battle. That's some other bands more similar to us, but they're barely up and coming. So they have a lot like to look at.
Gotcha.
Where they want to go with their band, who they want to play with, and everything.
Yeah. And sadly, Home Wrecker's leaving Texas. So.
Yeah.
Sad about that.
They're going to Chicago. They're going to Chicago.
Yeah.
We were just starting to get close because we were actually supposed to have Homewrecker, Houses, and Crossways as the run.
Okay.
But it
That would've been
obviously couldn't
amazing.
work out. It would have been.
That would've been sick.
a
That'd
lot
have
of
been a
fun.
crazy run.
Yeah, that's
Because initially it was supposed to be like a whole week. We were gonna try at the furthest for now because it was supposed to be like a little test run. Because we were gonna plan something bigger later. But it was supposed to be like a little test run and maybe ended in OKC, which it didn't work out because it narrowed down to just us and Crossways, and we
Yeah.
were like, we'll just make it smaller.
Yeah, it's still really good. Like, just few days to get to get to know the feeling of like that. You get to know more people, make more connections to make it easier to go further. You know what I mean? Because that's you. I think it's a good building block. And like I said, you can fucking play a shit ton of cities in Texas and get a bunch of different like audiences and markets. So
Honestly, it's been a different vibe almost everywhere we went. It's when you like. I guess it's a little hard to like branch out a little bit at first because it's like in San Antonio it's like it's a big city, so to us it's like damn, is every city kind of like this when it comes to shows? But then we go to like Corpus and it's like damn, like y'all show out with like every show, like y'all like every time we've been to Corpus it's been a really good turnout.
Nice. There's just like cultures of like cities where sometimes like there's like because I remember like when they were first talking about OKC and I'm like, well, what else is there to do out there? And then it's like, no, that's why. Like, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Out there. So people will
I think that's why. Like when the
shows,
cities are a little smaller, sometimes people go hard.
And in here, like for sure, like the
I feel
hardcore
like-
scene is definitely like the scene that will any night of the week you book a show. Like,
I feel like the
it's gonna be
DFW scene
fucking
is like
big. And
honestly, y'all have, in my opinion, y'all have like the best scene in
we're
Texas
pretty
right
lucky
now.
because of how like Denton, Dallas, Fort Worth are like all.
Yeah,
they're
they're right next
to each
there.
other, that people will still go from Denton to like Fort Worth
Yeah.
to Dallas or whatever. So it's nothing's too far away. So you can make like any shows like happen. And so you have a wide variety of like people wanting to come out to shows. You know what I mean? And luckily there's a shit ton of like the promotion companies like doing it now, like just throwing shows because like that's what we wanted to fucking do. Because like the show you guys are doing tonight is. COTC, which is Cream of the Crop, and then there's like Die, which is Dallas Independent Entertainment, us, NoiseROT, and then we have like there's like so many people just putting on shows that there's always something like to do. Like if you're coming by and you need a show, like somebody can get you something. But I think what you're saying, like the heart, you having a majority hardcore scene just helps you guys stand out a lot more. Because I feel like that's the show that I went to wasn't the hardcore or anything where I saw you, but. Again, there's something about the sound that just like really, really like draws attention. How has been the reception to get into like new crowds and stuff like that? Like, what have you guys heard?
Usually it goes pretty well for us. Usually, honestly, every genre always tries to book us. Obviously, I'm gonna have to say no to some things because it's like let's just be honest. We go there, it's not gonna vibe right. Like an indie band asks us, it's gonna be like, bro, come on. Like, do you really think they're gonna like us? Like. I don't know. I mean, we did it at first, and it was like
some mixed bills are cool.
Yeah, some are cool.
sure.
But like at first, because we first started, we had to do mixed bills.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, y'all actually like this shit? Like, what the fuck?
I feel like you gotta because that's like the reason the podcast started is because we threw a festival called Chill Sounds and Breakdowns, and that was the concept, was the fact that we could put like a bunch of like different genres like together, and they should be able to go. But what DJ like took care of is that he was trying to figure out like, yes, these are different. I go, but there's a way to cater a mixed bill to where it makes sense.
Right,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh,
Like,
like,
build
this
in.
is completely different, you know. But
A way to like basically start the night to how you could end it.
yeah, like it's like, oh, so we would normally go like light to heavy, or you know, like if this band like was close enough, like had some stuff like, oh, this
Or
band
even just
is
like
heavy.
going heavy, and then this band's gonna kind of break that, give everybody like a vibing chance.
Yeah.
And then boom, you can hit it again.
Like-
you could break it up.
And it depends. Like if you look at like what you listen to, like on a daily basis, like I'm pretty sure like you're like listening like stuff is pretty diverse like in itself. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you normally like can do that. So some fans are like this. Like, well, it's funny because one things that I started doing is like at our shows we've done like. We've gone and asked people like what their favorite song is, and then we'll play it for like the next person and ask them like what they think.
Oh
of it.
yeah, y'all had Jerry on
Yeah,
that.
bro, it's been so fucking like wild, like the difference in shit. And I'm like, but they were all at like a hardcore fest, but all the answers were fucking different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, like so people like do obviously listen to
Yeah.
a wide variety. So there's ways to just do it,
Well,
but
people are normal.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Beep.
Although you get those few that are just like, no, like the
elitists?
like,
Yeah.
yeah. Bro, that sounds so boring. Like
That's Dylan. Dylan says everything is
Oh
boring.
my god.
You're
Yeah.
like,
This guy
literally,
thinks everything's
I'm
mid.
gonna be real. I call everything mid.
He's like,
I am the biggest hater. I like honestly. I do not like. I do not like Gent. We were on the way here. And bro goes, play some Periphery. Play some Periphery. I'm like, I said, bro, you was about to not hear Periphery ever again.
We fight all the time about it because he hates like good music all the time.
What's wrong with you, Dylan? Why you
I like good music.
He
So you and
says
Jen's
it's
one of them that you
Caquita.
don't.
It's no.
No.
It's got,
He's like,
Gent gets me because fucking grooves and just shit like that just are so fucking catchy, and I'm just like, oh, this
I like Jen.
He said he doesn't like the choppiness of it.
I don't like the
Really?
down.
Like he doesn't like that it's like logic.
that's all of it.
He doesn't like music with like theory in it. Basically, he just wants to turn his brain off and go caveman.
Not all there.
Yeah.
No, I get that. 'Cause
I
there's
like
sometimes
my
where I'm listening to,
Converge.
Like, this is dope. And I'm like, but it's too complicated for my brain right now, so I'm just trying to hang out.
I don't think
bro.
like that.
Hey,
That's,
bro.
that's why I'm like, how, bro? Like, I don't think like that.
ADHD.
Can I just listen to Dogs and Grow Beards All Over by Prada?
I actually get bored when music is too simple sometimes.
Really? No,
Like,
I mean, yeah,
I'm
I
like,
get
bro,
that,
like,
yeah.
y'all could do something way cooler here.
I had to
Oh,
learn like the
There is a balance,
the
though.
talent
Yeah.
in space and like
Yeah.
making stuff simple. Because I was the biggest hater for simple music. Like I was just like, it's so fucking like it's so easy to write that.
I
and
think
that. But
that's
there's a
the
way
one
to
thing,
write
yeah.
simple stuff to make it good. Because obviously, if it's simple, you got to do something for it to catch
Yeah.
attention.
That's what
Otherwise,
we
like,
went into.
yeah. So
we went into
there's
it like
a
that.
talent in both.
Yeah, this band definitely taught me that. Like,
Yeah, it was-
how to dial it back a little bit and try
Yeah.
to, like,
Basically, like when we
normal
first
stuff.
started, it was like I was explaining to him like I don't mind complex things, but like when the whole song is you just spamming your skill set, it makes people not appreciate it like the way that you think they would. So you need to have that simplicity in between everything, and then you build into that complexity because that's how it makes it
Yeah,
the climax.
I think maybe that's what happened to me when I was trying to listen to the latest. I think it's the latest Periphery album. It might have been P4, where I think I
It's your
tuned out because
department.
it was too much. Like I'm not gonna lie. If I'm not mistaken, I remember being like, I think I was like track 2, and it was like really fucking long, and I'm just like, oh damn, like I didn't know I was gonna
Fuck.
have to like dedicate this like time to it.
Me with a
But like I've
vengeance.
seen like
Kylo's
Periphery
crying.
live.
15-minute song. Like,
You know, like,
boy,
that's kinda
ain't nobody
crazy.
got time for that. I do,
Like-
I do though. I love them.
Yeah, because what was the one of the early ones? What Race Car was like.
Yeah, I mean, that
7
one's
minutes.
badass, though.
That was, but that one like I think balanced out. I think that one had like a lot, like a bit of.
Jesse's
like,
over there thinking
everything.
boundaries.
P2, like I fucking love the shit out of P2. Like the way that album
Yes.
will just worked. It just because I think they balanced really
Yeah.
well. I think again, and then like I think everything up to P4 was the one that I was just like I think it was just like too much for me. Yeah, I don't know, but maybe I need to go back and listen to it. That's also
Yeah.
a thing where I'm like, sometimes shit just like isn't for me at the time. But
Yeah.
then I'll
Hell
go back
no,
and listen, like,
no
yeah.
Periphery.
No, for
I mean, yeah, that's how I felt about P3. But then Jaden showed me P3, and I was like, bro, this shit's good.
Yeah. Honestly, that band is like I would credit them to like learning their songs at such a young age is what like really like leveled up my guitar skills and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, they write some really fucking cool shit. They're good. They're good at crafts. You know what
Prog
I mean? Like,
nerds.
it's definitely one of those where you're like, oh, okay, that's what you can do. Like if you are really dedicated.
And also, like them, I just thought about it right now, but eventually I think we'd want to be able to record ourselves someday.
Okay.
Produce and
Oh,
record
yeah.
ourselves. Because me, Jesse, and Lucky already mess around with, like, programming ourselves, but it's just a matter of, like, affording equipment and
Yeah.
things like that, so.
That's definitely one thing that's changed. I know we were kind of touching on it before, but like it definitely is a lot more realistic thing for people to do like these days, and it's almost
100%.
like it definitely balances out more into your favor. I think actually investing like into like that equipment.
I've
and
invested a
learning-
bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of money.
Periphery
Yeah.
literally made that like not almost like a trend because like they started out recording themselves. They get good drums. There's like one of the most revered like drum programs that like a lot of people use for drum programming, and they're like millionaires off of all their own recording stuff.
and I think most of it is made, affordable in a way. Sure, it gets fucking pricey.
Yeah.
But like, if you can do your own shit in house, then you start doing shit like what Crossways did for you. Like, you can start reaching out to like other bands who like
Yeah.
want to work with you. But I mean, even alone for yourselves, like being able to just when you write shit, put it out, and not have to depend on anybody. No, you're only working with yourselves who see your vision. So you're like, oh, okay, I know exactly like what it's gonna take to get this done. So if you have the ability and the drive to fucking sit down and learn that shit, then do it. You know what I mean? Like it's worth it. Especially if it interests you. Like, which if you're like can sit there for hours and work on like the most minuscule things and you find it fun, fucking keep doing that shit. Like, there's no point to not and it helps bands, and it's again another way to you just add more skill sets to yourself, and you can work with other bands. So it balances out for yourself and your art, but you can also, if you need it, like can use it to add more revenue to yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a lot of making money as a musician requires you to have a pretty like
Honestly,
extensive skill set.
it's gonna have to depend on you having that side hustle.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
need to have something, and if you can make it relevant to what you like doing, then that's even better. Because like I have a friend who's I think was doing like a band at the time, but he's like, yeah, like I've quit my job and music's my full-time job. Like, however, like it's not just the band that I do. Is like I do band. Like he was ghostwriting for artists, and then he was also doing like vocal lessons, but everything was music related.
All right, there you go, Gum. Start
But,
ghostwriting.
You know what I mean? Like it
Right.
just worked, and I didn't even know that was a fucking market. But yeah, people were gatekeeping.
Gatekeep him.
BBL Drizzy.
He's ours. Hear
Look
that?
at his face. He's like,
BBL Drizzy.
Okay, yeah. No, he left the building.
No, BBL Drizzy, dude.
BBL
What side y'all taking
Drizzy.
on?
Wait, what?
Oh, the
for
Kendrick
that?
Drake.
I'm gonna be
Obviously
real.
Kendrick,
Yeah,
obviously.
I don't fucking know.
They know
Because
like
I
us.
was like, you sound just like the part in Kendrick song where you're like, no, I'm the biggest hater. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, that's exactly how that song goes.
Are y'all serious? Are y'all dead ass? I wouldn't fucking know.
I think he says what, like, I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk. The way
I hate
that
the way that you walk. I hate the way
Bro,
that
dead
you
ass.
I'm
I'm
like,
gonna be
you
real.
sneak
I'm gonna
this.
be dead ass. This past 2 weeks, all I've been listening to is Pierce the Veil.
That's what I'm gonna clip, dude. It's just you saying that. Just put the clip of that song. It's gonna be.
Bro, I am the
you
biggest
and
hater. I don't
Dylan
give a
at Gent.
shit.
Yeah, literally.
Do it.
Oh.
I do not like it. I don't.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that skill set just works. Like it just helps out with so much. But that's cool that you guys have people in the band that like doing that shit.
Dude, honestly, they surprise me constantly with the things that they do. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just here.
Work 40 hours a week, get home, and then I just immediately just sit at the computer
Yeah.
for hours.
Honestly, we started playing a new song and we debuted it at our release show, right? First time we ever played it as a band either. We had,
Really?
yeah, we had never
So this
practiced
practice,
it.
this was all just like practice done.
We practiced it like once, just like the band.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was busy. Yeah, that was my first time playing it with them, and we were just like,
But he was like,
Yeah,
"Fuck
you
it,
look
let's
pretty
run
good.
this shit." Like,
yeah, I was like, all right, fuck it. Just,
we did
Pretty
great.
well, though.
We still can't play, right?
bitch, bitch.
Isn't like the new like era, I guess, of Postal. It's just not. It's
He's mad because he has to play on a click now.
Yeah.
Lucky.
We started backing tracks. He actually just bought in-ears in the middle of this tour, bro. Said, I'll go broke for in-ears.
They're expensive as shit.
It's fair.
Well, playing to a click.
Bro, pick up the mic, fool.
DJ just has to figure it out later. But yeah, playing to a click because I remember going through that transition. And I'm just like, I don't want to play to a click. But then like what got me is that I would look at videos like later and be like, dude, we are rushing every fucking time we get excited and pumped. Like, we're playing this shit way too fucking fast.
That was our problem too. We would play like every song on fucking like 500 speed.
Yeah, like,
it'd be like so insane.
I'd be like, damn, like, why are we so fucking tired? And then see the video back. I'm like, why are we playing this shit so fucking fast?
Yeah.
But it took so much getting used to playing to a click, especially because like we would design the entire show on the click. So like, all your pauses, everything, like backtracks, instrumental stuff like that.
It's just fun because it adds more of an atmosphere.
Yeah, it just brings that extra like
I
dynamic.
think that works really good for y'all. Like with the music that y'all play, like that atmospheric things, like just helps songs like bleed into each other.
It's funny.
Dead Space like was the thing like that I just hated, where it was just like quiet and like, all right, next song. Like now I have to like talk, I guess.
Yeah.
And I wasn't good at like staying in character, I guess.
Yeah.
So like I was always like songs like
Yesterday.
intense, I'm fucking screaming and shit like that or whatever. The song's over and be like, oh yeah, so what's everybody doing? I just like didn't know how to, I didn't have like a good on stage.
Yeah, we were like McDonald's.
Bro, no, yesterday our what was it? Our click track was not wanting to load. So me and him were just like, so what y'all think? Resident Evil or Dead Space?
Alright guys, so Dead Space or Resident Evil? And like, alright, Sonic or Mario?
Dude, and they hated Mario. They hated Mario.
People went crazy for Sonic.
Why do people hate Mario?
I don't know. I was like,
Sonic
damn,
is better.
Maybe because he's.
I was like, bro, I never played
Nintendo.
Nintendo for shit, but okay. I've had PlayStation 2 my whole life.
Yeah, that
His
was,
whole life. Still.
it's not working.
I mean, hey man, I have an Xbox Series X. That's all I got. I'm chilling with that. My Xbox is. I'm chilling.
Dude, I always, anytime, like, I never, like, got really into games, but so I always bought the console, like, everything, like, whatever was, like, I think I got a PS3 when, like, PS4s were out, and I'm just like, I just need something, like, to entertain myself, so I don't give a fuck, like, all the extra shit, but yeah, I've always been behind on
That's
but
all
I
do.
can't play, because, like, once I, like, dedicate to a game, like, I'll fucking
Go hard
kill
on it,
every
yeah.
fucking hour, you know what I mean? Like, I'm done, like, I'm like, I'm not doing anything else, like, other than this, so I have that tendency where I'm like, oh, I can't really add too many
Same.
things like that, so I'm like, I gotta add some shit that's gonna add, like, I just recently started getting into, like, photography for, like, obviously for us, like, it benefits us, so I'm like, oh, we can take our own pictures or whatever, but I that's the thing that I can, like, sit there and, like, spend hours and be like, all right, like, I'll, like, change the most, like, little shit on here just to see what it does, like, I'm like, this is fun, but I'm like, but that's how I have to balance out my hobbies or whatever, like, it's got to be something that I can use for something else, because otherwise, like, I don't have a lot of time to just fucking hang out and do nothing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, me
Meanwhile,
don't do shit. Work, go home.
Yeah.
this makes it worth it.
Yeah,
Like-
it does. It does.
It's weird. Like, I don't know if you've ever talked to people who don't have, like, a thing like that, like something to do. And it's
do you do all
very
day?
interesting. It's like, I was like, my thing is like, why do you do it? You know what I mean? Like, you're working like whatever 40 plus hours a week. You know, go home and do it again the next day. I'm like, so there's got to be, you need something.
Honestly, yeah.
To make that worth it. Otherwise, again, we're going back to like the concept of even like the
Yeah.
EP. Like, why the fuck are you like? You know, you're not having a good time like at work. Like you
Yeah.
feel like, damn, this is shitty. You're gonna keep. Apparently, you know, according to them, they're gonna keep doing it forever. So
Yeah.
you need get something like anything, just to give you
Hon-
some
honestly,
sort of purpose.
to,
Yeah.
to, like to
Any
me,
type of
like I
hobby.
go to school. You know, I work, I do the band and all that. You know, like I have a full schedule, and I mean, you know, I still have obviously free time, but you know, like to me, it's like, oh, this is normal now. Like it just this is just life. But like, you know, it interests me. Like for example, when like my parents tell me like they're proud of like that I take on all this responsibility,
Yeah.
and it's just like, is it really that much? Like really? Like I figured like it's just like, you know, routine now at this point to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a smart way to go about it. You want to make that your actual
like the
normal,
routine,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah, like it's like, hey, this is what I do. You know what I mean? Like, and that was something like a tough concept for me to be able to tell people like, oh, I do this. Like I was always like, like they're gonna think like this shit is stupid or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna think that anyways.
Yeah. And that's one of the driving forces of why like we do a lot of the stuff that we do, because like, bro, like bands are out here fucking killing it, working hard, doing some cool shit. Not only like making music, but like I know and I talk to more people and I understand like how fucking hard this shit is to like get done. You know what I mean? Like, and again, the risk of like hitting the road, like you're taking, you know, a week off or 2 weeks off at a time to go like do this. I'm like, that's
It's a
more
big
than most people
financial
get to
risk.
fucking do. Yeah, obviously.
'Cause,
Like
like-
most of the time, like dude, people come home from tour like with less money than they fucking went off to. But you know, it's again the risk that you need to do. To like I've talked to like a friend of mine who's like in a pretty decently sized band, and he was like, yeah, we broke even. And I'm like, you were gone for like a month or two.
God
you know what I mean?
damn.
And they broke even, and I'm just like, that's crazy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And people don't know. They see like the outside. I'm like, oh, they're playing these stages, they're doing fine. And I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
I think
you
that
have
like
no idea.
what people don't understand is like, like you see that we have merch, you see that like we're in the studio, we're playing shows, there's people, all that, right? I don't think people like. I guess if you're not in this like making music, I guess if you're just like a fan or anything like that, what they don't really notice is that we struggle financially. Like
Yeah.
it is hard to like even just to restock merch sometimes.
Well, you mean most of that merch is just to get you to the next town.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
to fucking eat, or if you happen to be able to stay somewhere, like pay for that. If not, like people are sleeping. Like the biggest trend is like sleeping in like Planet Fitness parking lots. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you get to,
Yeah.
like, if
That
you-
was
like,
the
what,
plan.
Like 3 to 4 people need to have the black membership to all go in there. And we can at least shower and shit. Like there's all these things like sacrifices that people make just to
Yeah.
fucking play the music that they like writing. You know what I mean? Like it's cool as shit. But yeah, I feel like more people just need to know that, like what it
It's
takes to do this.
It's honestly like, it's an experience. Like it's not a bad experience. To me, it's
Yeah.
fun. But like, there's times where like, bro, like what was it like yesterday? We got to Houston. We're like, I don't know where the fuck we're staying the night. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. Y'all want a hotel? You want to sleep in a parking lot? Yeah, we brought a tent with us. What do y'all want to do? I mean, just fortunate enough that we were just like, you know what? Found a hotel that's under $100.
Yeah.
Fuck it. It has a good rating. Let's just go.
And everybody figuring out how to stay in there.
Yeah,
Nine-
almost, that's like
nine
nine people.
people.
Yeah.
9. Damn.
Yeah, there's only 2 beds. Every single work somehow.
And then, hey,
single
We got
hey,
some
and then we're up. We get there at like what 3 a.m.
Yeah,
and we're all
like,
like,
every
everyone's
day.
all like, man, none of y'all act fucking annoying. Let's just go to bed.
And then as soon as we get there,
We were talking about that like, literally before we started. The fucking you guys were playing car alarm sounds.
Yeah.
What 5, 6 in the morning?
Hell yeah!
Yeah. I don't
Every
know why
night
we
so
do that.
far. Every night.
Every night so far.
Yeah, every night. We don't go to bed till like 5.
Dude,
Dude, it is. But it's like honestly, like in the moment you're like, man, this is so fucking annoying. Like, shut up, I want to
Memories,
sleep. But
yeah.
then thinking about it the next day, you're like, damn.
that was funny as hell.
You're like, damn, I'm gonna miss that because like, how long do we have to wait until we get to have that experience again?
Yeah.
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 I think Chris would let out a laugh. He'd be like, it just make it so much
Bro,
funnier.
nah, he kept turning on and off the microwave and it just go ding.
Instead of like beeping like really fast and loud.
Dude, that shit was so fun. And everyone every time we wake up, bro, I can't find this. Where's this at? And it's just like, bro, there is 9 motherfuckers in here. What makes you think I know where it is, bro? Like, my ass has just been sitting here in this one spot, just like, damn, I gotta drive later.
Yeah, and drive up here. Then I mean, again, like thank you for taking the time to do this because like right after this,
That was fun.
Fucking play a show tonight.
Hell yeah, my voice is
Rubber
shot.
gloves, shout out rubber gloves.
Hey,
Rubber glove.
y'all think I got this? My voice is shot too.
He always says that. He got it.
Hell no.
Suck it up.
Bro, nah. We had this one show back in San Antonio at this venue that just got closed down called Norwood Warehouse. And our
R.I.P.
drummer was not
R.I.P.
here. He was out of town.
Oh.
And this one had to fill in on drums. I had no voice the whole entire night.
What the fuck?
And like we were like, yeah, we got this, bro. The next day,
They did
I
indeed
could
not.
not, bro. I could not talk for 3 days. This fool's like, I don't ever want to play drums again.
Damn.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't even want to fucking see that.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, I was pissed that night. It's just because, like,
It was not
I like to think of myself as a decent drummer, but I cannot set up a kit for shit because I don't really own one. So I never take the time to actually set up the hi-hats and the
Yeah.
cymbals and so
Didn't
I
it
just
fall over mid-show?
Yeah, like mid song, my kick drum like rolled over.
Bro, people tell us like, dude, honestly, we fuck up almost every show. We have fuck ups. Every band has fuck ups, right?
Yeah.
But like people when they tell us that we did good, we're just like,
Really?
fuck? Are you sure, bro? Are you sure we did?
You just gotta agree and pretend everything.
Yeah, we
was
just
on purpose,
we just say
dude. Yeah.
thank you, and then we go and sit out of the merch and we're like, that was so fucking ass, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's just the thing that you do in a band because you're the one that knows every single time that you fuck up or somebody else fucks up. Like you're able to notice that like one thing gets hit out of place, you're like fuck. Like everyone fucking heard that, and you're like, you guys are the only ones that know. Like as an audience member, unless it's maybe a kick drum rolling over. That might be a bit obvious, but
Yeah,
that one's a bit hard.
honestly-
it's a little hard to play off. But
we don't ever sit there and like blame each other and be like, man, you fucking suck. Like we don't ever do that. Usually it's just like, you know what, we fucked up. Next show, just fuck it. We'll just do better.
Do it
We
again.
just need to.
Fuck
I
up.
think our shit's so like chaotic too. Like regular people, they won't like even know. They'll just be like, "How's part of that right?" Like, so
most of the shit you can play off like that, where you just again, the audience will know if you make like a reaction to it, but if you're just to keep fucking going, who gives a fuck? It's like, oh shit, they're really fucking up their equipment over there. You know what I mean? Like, you know who like? Do you guys? He plays in Idola, but it's this guy named Sergio.
Oh hell yeah, Sergio Medina.
Dude,
Your
that
twin,
dude
according
is
to
the
Jerry?
funnest-
Twin.
That dude is the funnest person to see play live.
Bro, yeah, he'd be like biting his guitar and like holding it in his mouth. and
I've
shit.
seen him since he was in Stolas, and I remember seeing him at a place
Damn,
here
that's
called
a
Colorado.
throwback.
It was like it was a small ass venue, and I'm like, dude, he's got no room on there. But I didn't know him at the time, so I don't know what the fuck he played. And seeing him run and jump, and seeing his amp like tip over, and him just like go back.
You remember Let Live?
Huh?
You remember Let Live?
Yeah.
Jason Butler would climb rafters and everything.
It's so fucking crazy.
That's the
but, like,
vibe I want to bring when
Yeah,
we
you
play.
got crazy like that. Yeah. But no, there's just some people that are just fun as fuck to see. But I'm saying like I'm gonna jinx him, but I've never seen him fall like or do anything. I've seen him do shit that he should have fell. But I'm like, dude, like I don't know. He's got a very like he knows exactly like what he's supposed to be doing up there. But
Bro
yeah, like if you
practices in
fall,
the
like you
room.
just gotta keep fucking going. Like I've done that before where I think my leg got caught in a
Oh,
cable.
he's completely slipped like.
Dude, no, it's the funniest
It's
thing.
funny because like I turned around, he's like on the ground going hard. I'm like,
Bro.
hell yeah! like,
And then you see a dude in the background just go.
Did.
I'm like super extra when I play. So I remember one time I put my foot like on the monitor and it like tipped over and I slipped and like it's on video too.
His
You
legs
see
just
my
flew
legs,
up?
like, flying through the air. I do this like on the ground and you hear my guitar go.
Nah, dude.
And I just kept playing. that. I was
Every
like,
every time,
yeah,
bro. Bro,
Yeah,
tell
banana
me
peel
what.
slip fall.
Every time Axel and I go to a show together, he gets injured at the show. Remember, every time we've seen Sea Space Cowboy,
Oh,
bro
yeah.
got kicked in the stomach and like had to leave the venue for a little bit.
Oh yeah, because I was like going hard because no one was moshing for them, so I had to go hard. And then some people started, and someone like straight karate kicked me like in the spleen, and I felt that shit, and I was like, "I'm good, guys."
And then
I went outside, I started throwing up.
we saw another. We went another time. I don't remember what band it was, but then you got kicked. You got kicked in the mouth, and like it was all bleeding. You had like a towel and everything. You remember?
I've been kicked so many times,
Bro, yeah,
And
he
You
bleed-
get kicked so many times you don't remember that
Yeah,
shit no more.
I've been kicked, punched, like bled. I don't know. There's so many
Elbowed in the
times.
spine.
Yeah.
Broken back.
Bro just gets
broken back.
injured. Bro gets injured every time, and we're just like,
It's for the music, man.
bro says it's the vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's the vibe I bring to the function.
Bro, if it fits, dude. I mean, that's you do what the music makes you fucking do. Man.
Like I regret it later. Like I have knee problems, but I still like jump and shit, like hella high, like all the way to my chest and shit. And like I went on the ground yesterday, and like my back was hurting.
some icy hot or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Absorbine.
Okay, so like so EP just got released in May.
Yeah,
That you had been working on for a while, but you said you're already working on new music.
Oh yeah, we
What's-
Hell yeah.
started
Do
a
you have, like,
while.
a concept for that, or do you know exactly like musically what you want to like move into?
So we've all talked about it. Honestly, we want to get a little bit more heavier. We want to really dial into that factor because I think that we feel like we can get that. As me and him say it, we feel like we can get Suicide Silence, the cleansing heavy. Like we feel like we could get something like that going. I know that like he's talked about he wants to drop tune us a little bit more. There's just a bunch of different concepts, and we just really want to dial into that more revival sound. Try to really get into like, okay, that would like, for example, Do I Have Eyes Still on the new EP? That's a song that we felt like this is more how we feel like we're gonna start sounding a little bit. It's more the newer us, and we've just been really dialing into that. And honestly, I mean, he's taken pretty much most control right now when it comes to with the new stuff we're writing.
Yeah.
He's written maybe I think like 9 ideas so far.
Shit.
About, yeah.
He's written about 9. I know that Jesse's about to start on some new ideas. Axel's been talking about he wants to write more like heavy, low, low, some like Duck Duck Goose type stuff. So we're gonna try to dial in like some of that, some of the cleansing, Suicide Silence, 2007 deathcore.
Yeah.
And of course, we want to add in choruses because we feel like, that's what
Choruses
that's
rule.
what hooks the song. That's
Fucking love
what gets it.
I just want something different with every song. Like,
Yeah.
obviously a cohesive project, but I feel as though, like, with these first 6 songs, like, until we reached, like, Do I Have Eyes, not that every song sounds the same, but, like, if you were a first-time listener, like, I wouldn't be too hard on you if you had said, or if you couldn't tell the difference between song 2 and song 4, because of certain parts that
Yeah.
sound similar. But I think now we're a lot better, like, with songwriting and stuff like that. So I think we can really make a project where, like, each track stands
Yeah.
out.
Do I Have Eyes? I like rewrote that like 6 times.
7
Yeah.
times. That song took us
It-
5 months
it
to
took
write.
me a while, but it's just because it's just like I wanted something to hit.
We wanted
Honestly.
like we had a very specific like we want this to be like the song of the EP, and lyrically that's what I did. I took one line from every song on the album and I put it in there.
Yeah.
Because I was like, all right, that's supposed to be the song that.
And it's
It
so
ties
funny,
everything.
like I remember like I took like a week. It was like a good week and a half where I just stopped playing guitar. I was having a rough ass like time with work and like just personal shit. And then I don't know, man, just out of nowhere, like it was like a Friday, I came home finally, dude, I just started hitting it again, with some like similar riffs I had before. And then I don't know, a lot of it just started coming together, and then I sent them some stuff for it. And then he was like, he still didn't like some parts. So I was like, all right,
Me?
well, fuck it. I'm coming over. We're going to settle this shit right now because we
Yeah.
need to
Oh,
just
yeah.
get this last song done with. And then
Lucky wasn't there, but we were all at my house. It
sat
was
there for
like-
hours, man. I got
sat
drunk
there-
as fuck. And then just started hitting
That
riffs.
did it.
Riffs, dude.
I just sat there. I was like, look, let me hum out what I want, like the chorus to sound. I just hummed it out like the riff, and he was like this, and he told him, he
Yeah.
tabbed it out, and he was like, do we need to change anything? Is this good? And we were like, yeah, that's fine. And then we were like, you know what? Why don't we end it like some shoegaze like
Yeah.
style? And that's when Axel was like this, and he just did it real quick.
Yeah, kinda, that's how it
Man,
went.
those are fucking cool ass moments where shit just like
Lines
lines up.
Bro was
It's like
just
you
playing
talked
Skate
about that
3, and he was
change
like,
that
nah,
just
it
literally
needs to
went
be like this.
Yeah.
like if this person wrote this, then this person understood
Right.
this, and then just went around. Like, yeah, those are fucking cool. Which I think like just solidifies where you're like, oh, we're writing with like the right people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Where it feels like that easily standing each other. I mean,
We've
yeah, you'll
all-
go through parts where like it's hard to write shit, or
We've learned to trust each other a little bit more, too, as well. So,
Yeah,
I mean-
I mean, at first, like you have that, like you want to be a little more controlling because it's like, no, like I have this very specific vision, and then
Yeah.
eventually you're just like, like if they didn't want to sacrifice something, why should I? So then we come together and we're like, you know what, you're bending and I'm gonna bend a little bit. Let's meet each other halfway, and how can we combine each other's things?
I think it makes it easier once you realize what it can become once you like let go a little. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if I like let go a little bit of what I want, you see like an end product and be like, holy shit, like it turned out really fucking cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of like, again, it's the whole band is a collaborative effort. So you have to be willing to take other people, especially, I mean, if you're in a band where everybody's like writing, like, I mean, there's bands where you
Yeah.
get like, 1 or 2 writers,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and whatever. But if you have a band full of writers, like, then that's just a thing you're gonna have to do. Like, you're gonna have to be willing to like work with fucking people and just
Yeah.
be like, hey, dude, we're
And
we're writing together. So
And,
I'll
like,
bend a little to hear something.
everybody. Well, I'm the only one. I don't want a side project. We know all of them have their other projects and everything, but I think with this, we all know like, this is like the thing we want to push. We want like obviously they cater to Sloth the exact same way they cater to Postal. Like I'm never gonna tell them they need to do less or whatever. They're gonna do whatever they want, and that's fine. But like for example, Jesse, like he has other projects, but he was like, yeah, I can have whatever, but this is like
Yeah, Postal's
this
my
is-
baby.
yeah, this is
For
he's like
sure.
this is the one that I'm gonna be like, we need to push this only, like
Yeah.
completely.
Oh yeah. again, thank you guys for stopping by and making time before
Yes,
the
sir.
show tonight.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you guys have to head out of Den, so. But yeah, anything else you guys have coming up that you want to plug in here?
Man, we have so many different shows. I'm like, bro, I forget. We'll be back here in DFW. What?
June, I think, right at Halton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halton
July.
Theater.
He's pulling it up. I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna just wait for him. I'm gonna be like,
July 21st.
Yeah.
I'm over here. Let me see them notes, boy.
With
Let me see
Kurma.
them notes.
Yeah.
with Kurma.
Yeah.
And Cutthroat.
And
They're the
Cutthroat,
homies.
the
That was
homies.
fucking sick.
I love Cutthroat.
Jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, let me see real quick. When
I
do
was
we
a
come
little too
back?
surprised for
Don't talk,
that.
bitch.
We
Wow.
come back.
That is right, yeah.
We come
He's
back
gonna say the
July
name 3
21st, August 16th, September 2nd.
Sick. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
3 days. 3 different days.
Back to shit. No, I mean, yeah, absolutely. This was fucking fun. Thank you guys for making
Yeah,
the time.
thank you.
If you ever like have stuff that you just want to push, promote, anything like that, send it our
Shit.
way. Like we want to help out.
So many different bands that we love,
Completely, like welcome back. Yeah, if you have like friends. or
Shout out
anything like
Crossways 3000. Shout out
Shout out
Houses We
Houses.
Die In. Shout out Fountain Mouth. Shout out Faint. Shout out Happy Void. Shit, shout out Sloth. Man, no, y'all say some bands. Don't let me say all of them. Shit.
Yeah, you already shout out Houses We Die In.
uh,
They're one of my
oh,
favorites.
Shout out Spineless. Shout out Trespasser.
Spineless.
Shout out Gray Arbor.
Omerta, Boundaries, hit us up.
Man,
See
that's
Space.
reaching.
Nah.
Man, no.
Shout out
Thank-
Pac-Man the movie.
Yeah, shout out
See You
Pac-Man.
Space
They're
Cowboy.
fucking sick. We just had
See You
them,
Space
yeah.
Cowboy.
Oh,
See
nice.
Space, Static Dress.
See You Space Cowboy. See You Space Cowboy.
All right, I love you.
Manifest.
I love you, Mom.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you guys for stopping by. This has been episode 111 with Postal. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next time.
Later.
Angel numbers, boom.
Time and size, better lose your man. We should run away, love me instead.
Chill sounds and breakdowns.
Love me instead. Time and size, better lose your man. We should run away,